Hello and welcome to the Audience radio show. You've just heard For Will by Sherwood. Sherwood is a 16-year-old Wellingtonian, and his track is Discovery of the Week from the Audience's Dan Clist. Coming up on the show today, we talk with Shadowbat and Jet Jaguar and count down the top 10 tracks on the wildcard chart as voted by you on theaudience.co.nz. Let's check what was number one last week.
They weren't around, so I put some hard work in trying to fill my bank account. Hey, erase all the clowns, no more mass production. Teaching people things that'll make the third eye function. Break into the mainstream, get more recruits. I'ma start a revolution, we're no longer run by suits.
Diaz Grimm with Kanye's First Disciple. Let's start this week's countdown.
All right, let's get started at number 10.
Invisio, Deep in the Blue.
Go deeper in the blue, deeper than I've ever known, deeper than I've ever been. I know I gotta trust myself to go deep, deep in the blue.
Number 9.
Jay Turner, Can't Stop the River.
But I remember when your smile was better than anything I'd ever seen.
This week, number 8.
At number 8 this week is Edward Waka and Home.
Walk yourself home along the road, away from this place you've come to call your own. Cross land and sea, yeah. Young and free, yeah. Remember this place and come home to me. There's people that come and go, places they change and grow. But if you ever see, then you will never know. You never roam on your own. Faces of strangers turn to ones you know. Don't let your heart get weary, even when times get heavy. Call on the help of many to share the load. There's people that come and go, places that change and grow. But if you ever see, then you will never know. There's people that come and go, places that change and go. But if you never, never see, then you will never know.
Welcome back to the Audience Radio Show for another week. My name is Max, and joined in the studio right now with me is Shadowbat, brand new Auckland band Shadowbat, made out of, I suppose, a couple of other Auckland bands. How are you guys?
Good, thank you.
Good,
Hello.
thanks.
Sharing a microphone there, leaning in.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
So you guys are made up basically out of members of Sherpa and Lion Eyes, which is, I suppose, kind of indicative of the Auckland music scene at the moment, something we're seeing more and more of, a broad amount of musicians in the city involved in a few different projects at a few different times.
Mm-hmm.
What was the inspiration for this particular project?
Shadowbat kind of started because Liam and I used to live together and just wanted to make music together. And for me, like, I play drums in Lion Eyes, and it's quite energetic music and stuff, so I wanted another songwriting outlet. And then Liam's the man, and so that started happening. And then Ben, who is playing guitar in Sherpa, is one of Liam's best friends, so he just kind of joined in.
I originally wanted to start two different things with both of them. One was like folky songwriting stuff, and the other one was more like dancey bangers. And then we just combined them both. So it's like
Folky, dancey bangers.
yeah, folk thug.
Yeah.
All the songs are written quite folk styled. It's like singer-songwriter. I don't know how you'd call it, but
Genre.
then we just add beats.
Sweet.
Beats and a bit of groove.
Cool. You have one song up on the audience.co.nz called Shiver. Can you explain some of the themes of that song?
So that's like a song I wrote a few years ago when I used to study music and had to write it for a module, and it was like completely different then. It was just on guitar and just a lot more kind of singer-songwriter vibe, which I kind of moved away from. So then I took that to the guys and they kind of put their spin on it, and it kind of came out as a very different sort of song than it first was. Yeah.
And whereabouts did you record that?
Ben's bedroom.
Yeah.
Sweet. It's come out quite nicely for a bedroom recording.
Yeah, we use pretty good gear. Ben works for Play It Strange.
Oh, cool.
They're allowed to like borrow the gear, so yeah, it was bedroom recorded, but the gear was fairly decent. So
Premium bedroom recorded.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're working on an EP at the moment that's going to have, I think, about 5 songs. Yeah. And we've recorded 4 of them so far. So we're just finishing like mixing and mastering, and we have one more to record. So hopefully it should be sort of in the next month or so that will be done.
Having, a few different members of the band that contribute vocally, does that make things a bit more complex?
We have different singers because it tends to be that we bring our own songs and then build them together. So we sing our own songs that we've written, and then again, like, do some backing vocals on each other's songs. But when it comes to actually playing a show, it tends to kind of alternate between singers just to keep it interesting. And Liam, I think, has the hardest time because he has like the duff duff and the bleep bleep to kind of manage, so he has to make sure that's all set up. Yeah.
The drums are all synthetic throughout these songs. How does that affect the songwriting? Does it leave more room for other things?
it actually makes it quite bizarre when you're writing, because most of the songs we write without the beat, and then we'll just play with the variation of them, and then it can just completely change it. So we never really know what the song is going to sound like in the end. Yeah, it's very experimental when we're writing.
We'll put like a simple beat down just to kind of play alongside it, and then from that Liam tends to kind of tweak it a bit more and make it more interesting.
Cool.
Yeah, like Shiver didn't always quite have that, I guess, hip-hop beat.
It was kind of like more
real minimal.
Yeah.
And then we were just like, nah, it's a little too down-tempo, and then, yeah.
Sweet. Would you say that R&B has an influence on the sound that's coming out of you
Yeah,
guys?
totally. The Weeknd, like Frank Ocean, that kind of vibe.
Which is quite funny because it's very different to what I think we've made in the past, like musically and with our other bands and stuff. And even until like maybe a year or so ago, I never listened to R&B, and so it's a big shift.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely a direction I'm heading with the songs I've been writing lately. Is very, very R&B influence.
Sweet. And just finally, before we wrap things up,
Now that we're kind of getting our EP ready, just to and to have some shows sorted for when that's ready to be released.
cool. Well, thanks so much for coming in, guys.
Thanks for having us.
And best of luck with recording the EP and getting some shows under your belt.
Cool, thank you.
Cheers.
Sweet as. and you are on the Audience Radio Show, and now we're going to hear that song that's on theaudience.co.nz from Shadowbat. This is Shiver.
You're with the Audience radio show, where we're counting down the wildcard chart and discovering new music. One of the highlights of the recent Audience Fancy New Band showcase in Auckland was the mysterious act Muse. There is a release on the horizon which should include this, You Know Who You Are.
Number 7.
Young Taps with Treat You Right.
Got locked up in my soul. I got so up in my songs. I got songs up on my neck. Don't let that stop. Don't let it stop.
Oh, are you kidding me? No, you can't. Number 6.
Gabrielle Gilbert and White Lies.
You voted, you've chosen it. New music, and here it comes. New music, number 5.
The New Brides, Circus.
What you say? I love you. Wow. Okay, gang, number 4. Yeah, very cool.
Times 2, video game.
Favorites, I love GTA, San Andreas, just she eat me like a barracuda. When not me, my money gone like the Bermuda. Meaning my money is a plane. I call a pussy card cause I kill it and it smells like tuna.
This week at number 6 is a re-entry into the Audience Wildcard chart from Auckland singer-songwriter Gabrielle Gilbert. Here's White Lies.
Say it again, I won't give in, I won't give in. I need to fix up where you messed up. Shall we even start again? Oh, Mr. Mistrust, who do not understand your lies. Just to compare and where one lie ends and one begins. Now your thin white lies, they weaken your disguise. For the last time, I don't want you here. Oh, your thin white lies won't get you any prize. For the last time, I don't want you here. Fall in and fall about, one day you're in, one day you're out. Please do not tell me that you're trying. Now I understand your compulsive lying, guilt without a trace, taking your lies straight to my face. You need a better sorry story to hide all your mistakes. It's your thin white lies, they weaken your disguise. For the last time, I don't want you here. Oh, your thin white lies won't get you any prize. For the last time, I don't want you here. Call in and call you out, and only in it for yourself. Because you want more, take more, hate more, break more. Wanting for you now, I would dare to hang around. It's just like you to run away, keeping your head to the ground. It's your thin white lies, they weaken your disguise. For the last time, I don't want you here. It's your thin white lies, won't get you any prize. For the last time, I don't want you here. It's your thin white lies, they weaken your disguise. For the last time, I don't want you here. It's your thin white lies, won't get you any prize. For the last time, I don't want you here. Oh, your thin white lies, they weaken your disguise. For the last time, I don't want you here. Oh, your thin white lies won't get you any prize. For the last time, I don't want you here.
Welcome back to the Audience Radio Show. My name is Max, and on the line with me now I have I suppose a Discovery Track Artist of the Week, Michael Upton, aka Jet Jaguar. And now he has a new 3-track EP out, right? Would you call it an EP, Michael?
Yes, yeah, that's right.
And we've got one particular track off that, which we're going to hear in just a minute, which is called Agave Ferox. But first and foremost, I wanted to have a little bit of a chat about some of the stuff you've been up to recently. You've been doing your thing as Jet Jaguar for a while now, since '96, am I right?
That's right, yep.
Quite a long time in this particular scene, kind of a beats-orientated scene, which really is constantly changing. And have you seen quite a lot of people kind of come and go in that time?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, when I started out, I guess I mostly surrounded myself with people who were kind of making techno, basically. You know, I was kind of the chilled out end of what they were doing.
Being based down in Wellington, how is the Wellington kind of, I suppose, beat scene at the moment? Do you feel well supported as a musician down there?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I'm always basically just doing my thing, really, and I'll be honest, I mean, mostly I'm just making tunes at home, and I'm certainly very aware of heaps of other music, like I DJ on the radio down here as well and stuff, and so I'm always keeping tabs on what other people are up to, and there's a lot of music I really like happening in Wellington, and I mean, and definitely in other parts of the country. It's a bit tricky, to be honest, I think, for any kind of producer to find avenues to play out instrumental music and not just be sort of seen as DJing. Throughout the time I've been making music, it's always been a bit tricky to sort of tap into a scene where people go, oh yeah, cool, you know, I want to hear what you're doing because you're local and doing something original, rather than just going, oh yeah, that guy must just be playing someone else's records. And I think the move towards like Serato and stuff, people DJing off laptops, it's become harder and harder to know kind of what people are up to. And I guess when I was kind of sounding slightly reserved about saying about being supported, it was just about that. It's still a bit tricky to sort of tap a sort of local audience in real life. It seems easier to do it online, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. You're quite involved, I suppose, in the music that's happening at the moment. Where else have you been drawing inspiration from recently?
in terms of music,
Yeah.
quite a few different things. I've been really interested. There's a guy called Stetson who is a saxophonist. His name's Colin Stetson. He's based in Canada, and he's played with a whole lot of the kind of Canadian indie scene, but he does these amazing solo sax records that sound like some kind of warped sort of ambient noise, but it's actually just him and his sax. And stuff like that. I mean, just things that just have a really strong individual voice. I mean, that really inspires me to some extent more than, something that's just a good example of a genre, if you like. What that guy Colin Stetson's doing is just, you can't even categorize it really. I don't know how I'd describe it. Yeah, and that kind of stuff, I mean, that just really inspires me. It just always makes me think, oh, well, I've just got to be me, basically. I've just got to do what I do. So, I mean, I've got no desire to sound like Colin Stetson, but hearing his music, I just think, it's just kind of hypes me up and just get a good buzz from it and want to make more stuff myself.
Cool. You've just released Many Things, which is the follow-up to Single Digit High, which I think was the last thing before that. Am I right?
In between, there was one called Shreds. Yeah, Jaguar Shreds.
One of the things that was kind of instantly apparent to me was the preservation, I suppose, of the live instrument sound in the samples. But particularly in the track that we're going to hear in a bit, Agave Ferox. What drew you to that sound this particular time around?
I suppose I've done a lot of stuff with just working with samples until they are completely unrecognisable. And I mean, I really enjoyed that, but I realised that one of the things about sampling is that if you don't let some of the character of the original sound come through, then to some extent it kind of becomes a bit pointless. It's like, well, it could have just been a synth or it could have been something else. And so with Agave Ferox, that's actually got a lot of guitar on it from a guy called Jeremy Hunter. There's a pack of samples that I grabbed off, there's a website called Free Sound, and I grabbed these cello plucks and things. And just to some extent I've just sort of realised, if the sound's really good to start with, then just kind of why mess with it really? So, if I'm attracted to a sound, then it's probably something in the sound that I should be trying to preserve, as you say, not sort of cloud it over by just sort of adding effects for the sake of it.
You seem to be consistently releasing solo and collaborative material quite prolifically, actually. Are you working with anyone or on anything with anybody, I suppose, on a collaborative basis that's exciting for you at the moment?
I'm actually just sort of starting into a new collaboration over the next week, which I'm really, really looking forward to, with another Wellingtonian guy. He's called Kanan Saba, or he's known as K Saba. Yeah, he's awesome, and we've been in touch for years and, hang out and stuff, but we've never actually got it together to actually make music. He's done some remixes for me and vice versa. That's going to be really cool, and we're just kind of coming up with almost like rules around the project, because sometimes that's more fun than just getting in the room. It's like, okay, well, before we begin, let's pick sort of a certain approach that we're going to take, because otherwise you can just kind of get too loose on it, I think. One of the things that we're looking at is actually messing around with tempo more, because both of us are sort of known for doing reasonably kind of downbeat stuff. So we thought, all right, well, we'll see if we can go fast, basically.
Kick it up a notch, yeah.
Yeah, and just see where that takes us.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just before we finish, is there anything else that you've got in the pipeline that we should be keeping an eye out for?
So these EPs, I've sort of pretty much decided that at the start of the year that I'd do 6 EPs in 2013 of solo Jet Jaguar stuff.
Yep.
So Many Things is number 3 of 6, and got another 3 to go. So I should be putting out number 4 next month.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I've also I did an album a year or so back as part of a duo called Montano that was more ambient stuff, and releasing some remixes for that, which have got some people from Japan and Australia and New Zealand. So really looking forward to putting that out as well.
Awesome. And that was Jet Jaguar speaking on his latest EP, Many Things. And now we're going to hear a track from that EP, the first track, and this is called Agave Ferox. You're on the Audience Radio Show, thanks to theaudience.co.nz.
You're with The Audience Radio Show. Remember to visit theaudience.co.nz to discover new music and vote for what you want to hear on the top 10. If you're an artist, The Audience is where you can upload your tunes. We're nearly at the top of the wildcard chart, and coming in at number 3, it's Deadbeat Boys, Robotronic.
Three.
Automatic smile, you know exactly where I stand. Drag it out for a mile through all the dirty sand. So leave a light on, honey, so you know you're not alone. Leave a light on, honey, so you know I'm coming home. 'Cause I'll be hanging around just to keep you down. And you'll be screaming for me to let you out. But I'm a robotronic, animatronic, metaphorically hypersonic, robotronic, animatronic man, yeah. Calm down, electric frown, it's malfunctioning inside our town. It's going down through all the people. Sorry folks, but we're not going. Leave the light on, honey, so you know you're not alone. Leave the light on, honey, so you know that I'll be hanging around just to keep you down. And you'll be screaming for me to let you out. But I'm a robotronic, animatronic, metaphorically hypersonic, robotronic, animatronic man. Cause I've been hanging around just to get you down. And you've been screaming for me to let you out. But I'm a robotronic, animatronic, metaphorically hypersonic, robotronic, animatronic man. Yeah!
Do you need to go number ones or number twos? Number two.
Holding strong after 3 weeks in the top 3 is PNC, Kobe and LeBron featuring David Dallas.
One, two, and it's on. When we come through, they keep it moving along. As you can see, no tattoos on the arm. Nah, cause the demeanor speaks volumes. And on the song, we're like Kobe and LeBron. Kobe and LeBron. See, you don't wanna play with a guard. We're like Kobe and LeBron. Kobe and LeBron. See, you don't wanna play with a guard. Nah, Kobe and LeBron, no one's beating that. You rumored to be the best, I don't see the facts. Used to ride a BMX to a bunny hop. Now I'm coming at your throat like the money shop. Pause. Flow on steroids, it's like I'm on some cheating shit. Designer wear, yeah, always in the cleanest shit. These label chumps used to talk on some demeaning shit. Now they're on it, we should do brunch, have a meeting shit. Fuck out of here, you cowards get the treatment. Retreat to lining up for clubs that we frequent. We leave with a thing, you look like you can't breathe. Kobe and LeBron shit, I should wear an arm sleeve, I should wear a ring now. I outplay the field, rappers say they soldiers, I guess that I'm a Navy SEAL. Haters still be crumbling over nothing, stunning hard and now they're recovering from concussion. On a production, I beast. Fuck a track list, call my shit the deceased. Chasing a dope chick straight to the release. Don't talk shit, then run straight to the police. Never that, play at a level that they only aspire to. Writing the fire raps, fight music you riot to. Flying through the air, these suckers struggle for playing time. Kobe and LeBron, David Stern, the game is mine. 1, 2, and it's on. When we come through, they keep it moving along. As you can see, no tattoos on their arm. Nah, cause the demeanor speaks volumes. And on the song, we're like Kobe and LeBron. Kobe and LeBron, see you don't wanna play with a guard. We're like Kobe and LeBron. Kobe and LeBron, see you don't wanna play with a guard.
Yeah,
nah.
Feeling like a young Kobe, the one and only. Off the shack, left the maid, Parali is homie. Tell these motherfuckers blow me, you weren't to throw me. Zone D and double OT, you couldn't hold me at home or out on the roadie. Staples Center or the God and I'm in the zone G. So just throw me the rock, I'm about to go deep into the playoffs. Cheering for the other team, call that shit a seance. You talking to your dead homies, I'll pour one out for them cause the top's getting lonely. Get on my Bobby Brown shit, set your tenderoni, ain't nothing phony. Call me King James, what they're doing is below me. The one, the number one, ain't no actor. In my prime, you a non-motherfucking factor. Teamwork, make the dream work, but here's the thing. Show me a team without a superstar that want a ring, I'm the one. 1, 2,
and it's on. When we come through, they keep it moving along. As you can see, no tattoos on their arm. Nah, cause the demeanor speaks volumes. And on the song, we're like Kobe and LeBron. Kobe and LeBron, see you don't wanna play with a guard. We're like Kobe and LeBron. Kobe and LeBron, see you don't wanna play with a guard. Nah.
Number 1, baby. See you later.
Topping the chart for the second week, it's Diaz Grimm and Kanye's First Disciple.
Erase all the clowns, no more mass production. Teaching people things that'll make the third eye function. Break into the mainstream, getting more recruits. I'ma start a revolution, we'll no longer run by suits. God, I'm working towards to fail, I'm always on my grind. And I don't see no hate, so though it's your fucking time. My skill don't lie in rapping, plenty of better MCs. And my true skill lies in being kind, freeing minds with marketing. Music just a canvas, painting pictures of real. Since I found out what the devil is, I'm making him a deal. No fear of the man, I'ma change his reputation. That the people unafraid in a universal nation. Man, it's one conscience, one mind. The slaves are just the lazy boys and they looking well reclined. Well, my mom ain't had no cash, daddy weren't around, so I put some hard work in trying to fill my bank account. Ay, erase all the clowns, no more mass production. Teaching people things that'll make the third eye function. Break into the mainstream, getting more recruits. I'ma start a revolution, we'll no longer run by suits. Erase all the clowns, no more mass production. Teaching people things that'll make the third eye function. Break into the mainstream, getting more recruits. I'ma start a revolution, we'll no longer run by suits. I ain't doing this for my peers, they don't need my help. I'm aiming for the mainstream that can't think for themselves. Painting ideas, this is art right here. But I'm aiming for the charts so the whole world can hear. Whole world is blind, new era waking up. Recognize a leader and my army better come line up. Fans are just my soldiers who believe in what I speak. Cause I was saved by that Katie Holmes and talking Dawson's Creek. Shout out to the OGs, Louis Nux and PNC. David Dallas went global, so I'ma say how when I'm overseas. Reaping what I sow, destroying every show. Cause I'ma save the world once my fucking name blow. Erase all the clones, no more mass production. Teaching people things that'll make the third eye function. Break into the mainstream, get more recruits. I'ma start a revolution, we'll no longer run by suits. Yeah, my content is religious, my shows are out of order. Throwing cash, throwing J's, just don't tell no reporters. My content is religious, my shows are out of order. Throwing cash, throwing J's, just don't tell no reporters. Some say I'm biting Rocky, while you're just biting cavemen. Haters looking primitive, man, I'm way too evolved for this, and my stars are all aligned. Hello boys and girls, run and tell your kind. DS Grim will save the world, Erase all the clones, no more mass production. Teaching people things that'll make the third eye function. Break into the mainstream, get more recruits. I'ma start a revolution, we'll no longer run by suits. Erase all the clones, no more mass production. Teaching people things that'll make the third eye function. Break into the mainstream, get more recruits. I'ma start a revolution, we'll no longer run by suits.